rate of obesity has skyrocketed in a short period of time. So has the number of people with diabetes. The most common explanation for obesity and diabetes is overconsumption. That is, a person eating too much food. We routinely hear the advice to eat less and move more, as if the fundamental problem is like a simple math equation. But research over decades from a variety of scientific fields helps us more fully understand why some individuals struggle with weight their whole lives. To paint a more accurate picture of the real cause of obesity, let's consider a very interesting analogy. John F. Kennedy Jr. was the son of President John F. Kennedy. In 1998, John Jr. got his pilot's license and bought an airplane. That airplane was a single-engine Piper Saratoga. 1 year after getting his pilot's license, John Jr., along with his wife Carolyn Bassett, and her sister, Lauren, planned a trip from New Jersey to Martha's Vineyard for a wedding. It was Friday, July 16th, 1999. They left later than planned, around 8:40 p.m. It was within just a few minutes after takeoff at the small airport in New Jersey that nautical twilight set in. Nautical twilight is a window of time after the sun has set when it can be difficult to discern between sky and the horizon. Everything seems to blend into each other, making it difficult to navigate accurately. This window of time is especially dangerous if one is flying an airplane over water because a pilot can lose all visual reference points in sky and below. At this time, John Jr. was not instruments certified. This meant that he was not adequately trained to use the instruments alone in his airplane to fly the airplane. Ultimately, after takeoff, it is believed that John F. Kennedy Jr. lost orientation with his physical senses and was not adequately qualified to use the plane's instruments to provide orientation. Now let's consider a bit of human physiology. If we turn a corner in a car or boat or roller coaster, our inner ear tells our brain that we are accelerating in one direction, and we can feel and sense this movement. But did you know that if that turning continues for 25 to 30 seconds, the inner ear's ability to communicate this change in direction to the brain goes away? We can lose this sense in a short period of time in the right conditions. Back to John F. Kennedy's tragic flight. The flight recorder from John's plane indicated a very erratic flight path, going in several different directions and speeds. Ultimately, the evidence suggests that the airplane crashed into the ocean at a very steep angle at a very high rate of speed without the pilot being aware of the danger. Experts call this spatial disorientation. It is believed that John had no idea that his plane was flying very fast, almost straight into the ocean. So, what does this tragic plane crash have to do with obesity? The answer is surprising. It turns out that our brains control appetite, hunger, satiety, the feeling of fullness, and so many things relating to food and our instinct and desire to eat. Imagine sitting at a control panel in the cockpit of a 747 airplane. We see dials and switches and all kinds of instruments. Now imagine that this control panel represents the inner workings of our brains as it relates to food and energy and metabolism. It turns out that modern foods, sometimes referred to as hyperpalatable foods, can mess up all the settings on these controls in our brains. This can result in a person always feeling hungry, or never feeling hungry, yet craving food all the time. It can alter our sense of taste and smell and what we crave. Maybe the most appropriate way to name the underlying cause of modern obesity is neurologic and metabolic disorientation. We have lost the ability to use the instruments in our bodies and brains to navigate through the modern world of food in a healthy way. That is why being told to simply eat less and move more almost never works. Doing so very often feels like a person is doing exactly the opposite what their bodies are telling them to do. And very few people can trudge through that existence to success. The key to success in losing weight is to recalibrate those instruments in our brains and bodies. And this is precisely what bariatric surgery can do for us if we understand what the real problem is and how these operations actually work. Not understanding the effects of the operations fully can result in losing a great opportunity to optimize those effects and make them permanent. At Idaho Bariatric and Metabolic Institute, we specialize in performing bariatric surgery safely and bringing together a broad range of tools to achieve this goal. Start your journey today by calling 208 378 4264. That's 208 378 IBMI.